Hi everybody, welcome to Taiwan Talk. I'm your host, Alex Lewis. This week we talk about cycling with Syl No, the leader of the International Cyclists United here in Taipei, Taiwan. Taiwan is one of the top 5 producers of bicycles in the world, joining China, India, the European Union, and Japan, who are responsible for 87% of global production. Because of this, I want to talk about cycling, and so I got Syl on the show. So enjoy our conversation. Everybody just calls you Syl.
Yeah, because Sylvain is too difficult to say for people.
How do you say it? Silva?
You see? Sylvain.
Sylvain.
Voilà, doué.
All right, nice.
And
So
it's too difficult for people, they cannot do the vin. So Syl is all right.
Syl, okay. So what brought you to Taiwan, Syl?
Long story. I was working in the national education in France. I was also graduating. And then I was living in Paris. I just got bored and I decided to leave. So one of my friends was already living in Taiwan for more than 4 years. And so he visited us every year. And he told me, you should come, you will love it. And so that's what happened. I came 2 weeks after. I worked. I enjoyed the experience.
And here you still are.
And I'm still here.
When was this?
11 years and a half.
11 and a half years ago.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. And are you still teaching now?
Yeah, I'm teaching French right now. When I arrived here, I decided to cut with the French government, not to work for them anymore. So I have lived in the US a little bit. Washington, D.C. I went to Detroit also. Not for long, but enough. And so I was a teacher, So I mixed my pedagogical experience in French and I use it for teaching English. And it was really interesting. For 4 years, I did it. Mm-hmm. It was good. But after 4 years, I had nothing to learn more in terms of pedagogy, in terms of career and stuff. So I decided to come back to teaching French civilization. So I worked for the government, a governmental organization here, and with National Taiwan University, Taida Shui. And after that, I worked in partnership with European School and Alliance Française still. And I have cut recently in September, and now I work by myself, for myself.
Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
And so how'd you get into cycling here?
I have always been into cycling, actually. I really like cycling. But for like 10 years, I had to cut, living in Paris, working, studying, traveling in the US. More busy life. And so I completely cut. And one of my friends, his name is Randy, he put me back into cycling, actually. He told me, you should cycle. It's really great over here. And I say, yeah, why not? So I bought a mountain bike at first and started to ride in the mountain. And quickly I realized that for mountain bike in Taiwan, it's not really useful. You cannot really, particularly living in Taipei, ride on trails.
Right.
You ride on the road. So I went to road bike, and I met another guy called Cam McLean. This guy has an organization here named In Motion Asia. They organize trips, journey for groups of foreigners around Taiwan. It's really oriented like a sport activities. The guy is like an athlete,
Cam was an athlete.
Yeah, exactly. And the guy told me one day if I was interested in racing in his team. He had a little team made of friends, And so I told him, hey, why not? And we went to race Puli Wuling, Never Stop Wuling, this climb to 3,300 meters.
Down in Puli.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. From Puli to the top of Wuling Peak. And so we did it. It was great. Lots of fun. And from that moment, I decided to ride more often with them, and join more races. And after a while, this guy, because of his occupations, he had to go to Thailand. He had to change a little bit the format of his business. So he had no time to take care of the team. Mm-hmm. And so from that moment, I decided to create a team with the experience that I had with that. And actually, at first, we did it for fun, just to inform some
Inform
foreigners.
what? To let foreigners know that there is a cycling scene here?
Exactly. A lot of foreigners, they enjoy cycling, but they are in Taiwan, they have no idea what happened. And that's true that it's pretty complicated because everything is in Mandarin Chinese. And it's really, the information is really turned toward locals.
So when you say everything, it's complicated, it's because all the information on like the Facebook page or something for all these cycling clubs are in Chinese, or
Yes.
What else is complicated?
Yes. The way they communicate is not really performant. It's not really good, actually. It's really old school. They have a website, but if you don't know the website, you will never find the website, So if nobody tell you, you have to go there. And so for foreigners who are here, who don't speak Mandarin Chinese, and who don't know anybody to inform them, it's impossible to discover that all those activities exist here in Taiwan. And the second thing is that in Taiwan, there is no cyclist federation.
What is that?
Like, for example, in Europe or in the US, you have some professional federation, means they federate clubs all around the country, all around the regions and stuff, and they organize events. And every year you have what we call a championship, for example. And you have different level of championship. All that doesn't exist in Taiwan. In Taiwan, it's really underdeveloped. The organization in terms of sport activities is underdeveloped, except for baseball or basketball. But everything else is really, really underdeveloped, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Or it's connected to the universities, a little bit like American style, university sports. And so for cycling, it doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. So there are a few organizations. They are all private organizations. And they are business. They run like business, They work in partnership with the government sometimes for some races, for sure, because you have to use the roads. Mm-hmm. So you need police, you need a certain organization.
For these organizations, are they teams or are they like biking companies, or what is that?
It's a thing. It's kind of associations that organize events. Mm-hmm. They are event organizers. That's all. Mm-hmm. They are not connected really to clubs, teams, or anything. They are there. They offer the organization of a race. Then anyone who wants can join. So you pay a fee, you register yourself or your team, and you get into. And so there are like 4 or 5 organizations, plus sometimes the government of the counties, for example, in Hualien or in Tainan, they organize like one race, their own race, with money prize, with a podium and stuff. And when they do that, they ask one of those organizations to help, or they create by themselves the way to organize it. So it's a little bit anarchic compared to what we know, what we have the habit of in Europe or in the US, where everything is well organized, with clubs and stuff. So what I try to do, creating that team at first, it's to touch this foreign population who enjoy cycling, with some guys who have already a good level, who want to compete, and also step by step, building that team. We have been, that I called at first ICU, International Cyclists United. I have build it up better, stronger, with a body of riders who are really competitive. And we are trying to also touch now Taiwanese riders for them to join us, and then to create a club with good bases, good foundations, and to pick up the best cyclists. And since I have found a sponsor in the company of Jarefu Taiwan, who are really helpful and who provide us the necessary support to compete and to deal with some of our expenses. So then, since we have this sponsorship, I try to create something a little bit more competitive for a part, and in another way to attract people to create the equivalent of a club.
Right. So is there a international federation that you can, I guess, have partnerships with? Or I'm assuming so look at the big cycling races like, the Tour de France or something like that. I don't really know the intricacies of how cycling works as a sport, as a racing, circuit. But is there a way to kind of base your formation of a club off of an international model?
In Taiwan, the way it works here, it's like some guys who were involved in cycling have created their own team. And they have been able to get some partnership from companies, for example, Quota, which is a bicycling company. They produce bike.
Or Giant, I would assume. Right?
Alors, Giant, they partner a team that is called Columbus, that is located in Tianmu, that is very, very competitive, and that is led by one of the best rider in Taiwan, the best cyclist. Well, no, he's a little bit retired from that, but he was one of the best a few years ago. And so there is a Tutor ABC also, another team that exists that is pretty strong, SIB. So actually, how does it work? Some people create cycling groups. Those cycling groups, inside they are competitors. They are looking for companies, bigger companies, to be able to have sponsorship. Actually, that is the way it works pretty much everywhere in the world right now. It's a model.
I see.
The difference between, for example, a country like France, from where I am, and Taiwan, is that in France we have a national cyclist federation, or in other countries of Europe, like Netherlands, like Germany, etc. And so then you can create your club, get affiliated to the federation, then participate in championships and this kind of thing. And for sure, you can still get some sponsors, but you have a lot of helps. Well, here, nothing exists like that.
Here's nothing like that. You have to do everything yourself, basically.
Exactly. And also, for example, in France, in Europe, this federation help, for example, to find the best cyclists and then to orient them to some programs or I don't know what, and for them to join big teams. Well, all that here doesn't exist. It's really inside the teams themselves, the connection we can get, everything we can do.
So it doesn't sound
is pure amateur.
So it doesn't sound really accessible if you're not within that community.
Alors, the problem is that if you want to join a team, for sure you have first to get involved into cycling over a year and meet some people.
Right.
If you want to join the fun of all those races, challenges, and events, it's possible. You can do it like alone by yourself, by registering. But the problem is that you have to know how to do, because it's more difficult to access.
So that's why you created ICU.
Exactly. That's why I try to help my way to put more foreigners into this kind of event, because actually in Taiwan, it's only amateur sports, it's not professionalized at all. So I think it's more fun for everybody to get a more international presence into all those races and challenges, even for Taiwanese riders, to have the possibility to meet foreign riders, to make friends also, because it's also a question of socializing, and we create bonds. It's really cool, actually. And to compete against each other, and why not to create something together? Now, that is my point, to try to create something together, because I have lived here, as we
11
said,
years.
More than 11 years. And actually, I want to do something more for the community here, because I think I'm going to live here forever, because I love this country. And I want not only to be here, working, enjoying, and period. No, I really want to build something and to create boundaries, and also to try to help my own way,
So you moved here, 11 and a half years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know when you got in touch with the cycling scene, but could you tell me how the cycling scene is and how it kind of developed throughout the years?
I understand. The thing is, like me, I started to ride over a year, like 5 years and a half ago. And then 4 years and a half ago, I started to take it more seriously, and to be more interested in how it is over a year. So what I can say is that in 5 years, there was a real development. More and more cyclists over a year, more and more Taiwanese who cycle. Men, women. The number of women who cycle in Taiwan is pretty impressive, I have to say. And their level is pretty good. It's really amazing. I think Taiwanese are really resilient in one end, and in another end, they have really the mental, when they start something, they like to go through and to finish it. So I think that cycling is a sport here that can work even better, and but it has already been increasingly going better in the last 5 years, and yeah.
So what's the scene like now? It's already flourished and it's a big scene here now?
Actually, it's becoming pretty big. So you have most of the people take it more like leisure and a challenge, personal challenge, and that is a majority of the people. But we have a few hundreds of riders who really take it like more as a competition and try to make it interesting, like racing, and so we have over a year a few dozens of really, really good riders, Taiwanese riders, I have to say. And we have a few foreigners who are really, really strong, also leader in the pack. And so it creates an emulation, I think, and we meet each other, and we ride together, like as well as socializing, social rides, but as well as competing against each other. And the meaning of creating a new team here and not joining a team that exists already is to create that emulation. That's why the fact that Jarefu gave us the sponsorship, I precise it because I have to thank them. Thanks to them, it makes us reach another level. I think it's good. It's one structure more that is valuable over a year. As I say, there is also quota, Tutor IBC, or even SIB, if I remember well. And I maybe forgot another one, IMA, cycling. That is one structure more that is going to be competitive, that is already competitive, and that can maybe help to structure more and more here the system, and more we will have team like that with sponsorship, more the emulation will be interesting. Maybe it can attract more and more people.
All right.
Actually, I try to attract in the team like also younger cyclists, like around 17, for them to find our structure to compete and to be able to enjoy our expertise to be better.
Okay. So tell me about the races here.
Usually it's pretty well organized, but you have to know that in Taiwan, races or challenges are often on open roads. So that is something
So as in like, do they close the road for the races?
No, they don't.
They do not.
They do not.
So it's super dangerous.
It means that we have a security, some guys with scooters that accompany us in front, behind. We can see passing here and there on our sides. Some guys are at the crossroad with some flags and stuff. But the cops also participate on some races. But that is something I don't really understand. It's difficult to understand how the organization can be so loosey sometimes between the government and the association. I mean, they are all okay to organize challenges, but when it comes to make it really secure by closing the roads, by really calculating the time they need to close pieces of roads, but they just don't do it. So sometimes it leads to crash, sometimes it leads to accidents, for sure. But actually, what is also very surprising is that there are not so many accidents, not really serious one. But, Taiwan is an industrious country. People work 365 days a year. So even if the race happens one day per year on a certain area, but no, they don't close the roads because people need to pass with the truck, with the cars, because people need to work. Even if it's on a Sunday.
Right.
It's something really particular.
So do you think maybe that's because of the, I don't want to say the level of the races, but we don't have a race like the Tour de France. It's like, okay, we need to shut the roads down because of this race. Like it hasn't reached that level yet?
Nowadays, we have a big race in Taiwan called Taiwan KOM. So every year, once a year, it's in October. You have the Taiwan KOM, October or November? No, October. You have the Taiwan KOM. It's from Hualien to Wuling Peak, from 0 to 3,275 meters. It's the longest climb in the world, actually. It's a pure climb, and it's the longest climb, I think, that comes to be a race in the world.
For a cycling race, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So this race is in development right now. So this year, for example, Nibali came with like one of the best cyclists in the world, Nibali came, some professional came. So all that with the benediction of the UCI, the International Cyclist Federation. So it's a first step, a really good step for Taiwan.
How many years has this race been going on?
Taiwan KOM, it's a good question. 5 years maybe?
Okay.
I think 5 or 6 years. Maybe I make a mistake. I don't have. Maybe 5 or 6 years. It was pretty confidential at first and quickly became famous because in the world of cyclists, people talk and say, "Oh, this climb is crazy. The Taroko Gorge. It's the scenery is beautiful. It's an absolutely incredible challenge. It's an absolutely astonishing route for any cyclist. It's so beautiful. Physically, it's really demanding. It's really hard. And it's like a big event, big event. The same, this year it was better organized, more developed. They show it on TV. Bon, it was not marvelously done, I have to say, but it's a first step also. I hope that in the next years that can be bigger.
Okay, so I have a couple questions left.
Sure.
One, could you tell me some of your favorite routes to cycle? Have you cycled like all around Taiwan, like the perimeter and stuff like that?
So I haven't done the tour of Taiwan itself, but yes, I have cycled in many places.
What was your favorite place, or what comes to mind?
My favorite ride, on a personal point, it's Puli to Wuling. It's a 55-kilometer ride. You start for around 500 meters and you finish at 3,300 meters. Why it's my favorite ride? Because it's 40 kilometers of pure climbing. It's steep, and it's really demanding, but it's exactly what I like. It's a kind of ride I really love. Then I have done so many roads around Taiwan that I really, really, really like. We are going to do Tatajia in March. It's a Dajiashan. It's a really interesting road, 70 kilometers ride also to 2,700 meters. The Taiwan KOM from Hualien to Wuling is certainly one of the best ride you can do over a year. The scenery is absolutely astonishing. You cross Taroko Gorge, you do 13 kilometers on the coast. So you are on the coastline and you see the sea. It's absolutely stunning. And then you climb until you reach the top. But it's very difficult. The last 10 kilometers are really terrible. It's super steep. I have to say that I ride a lot around Taipei through Yanminshan. Marvelous, beautiful. The mountain, the sea. You have everything, you know. Mm-hmm. The south side of Taipei, you know, all the tea fields and everything. It's astonishingly beautiful. So many roads to ride. The temples in the mountains. Taiwan is amazing for a cyclist. It's certainly the best, and I'm French. And you know, France is very famous for the road to cycle. And French are usually pretty proud of their country, which is a very beautiful country, particularly for cycling. But I have to say that for me, Taiwan is the best for cycling, in my opinion. I would put it even before France, for me, for what I like.
Mm.
Yeah.
And how about the bikes here, like the local and made bikes? What kind of quality are we talking about?
We are in the first country in the world in the bike industry. Everything is made by Taiwanese companies. Everything. Taichung, the city of Taichung, is the number one in the world for the production of carbon fiber. So that is the same. Taiwan has, in the end, the market of carbon, and it's internationally recognized as one of the best places to produce high-quality carbons with the correct expertise. So for sure, a lot of companies here also have production plants in China, in mainland China, because it's the way it works in this world. But everybody I talk to tells me that it's in Taichung that everything happened. One of my friends, who is actually someone who is riding occasionally in our team, is the boss of the company called Factor. They produce bike for AG2R La Mondiale, which is one of the biggest cycling team in the world. They are one of the leader of the peloton in the UCI races like Tour de France, etc. And this guy lives in Taichung, produces in Taichung, and because of the quality that is offered here in terms of production of carbon. So yes, here you can find absolutely great bikes or big companies, but you have also little companies that it's this business, this Taiwanese business mind that are created and that start to produce and produce well and nice bikes, pretty affordable. Yes, it's paradise.
And is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't touch on?
No, I think we say pretty much everything. If you allow me, I would like to thank the sponsor of my team again, Jarefu, who is doing a lot for cycling actually in the world of cycling. They sponsor Tour de France, Tour d'Italie, Italian Tour, Spanish Tour, etc. They really try to help cyclists a lot, and I really appreciate the fact that they have been interested in in the project that I have been leading. And now they are a really good partner, and I just wanted to underline it because we have to give back to Caesar what belonged to Caesar.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for coming in, Syl. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, and I invite you to join us and cycle with us.
That was Syl No coming onto the show and sharing his thoughts and experiences about on cycling here in Taiwan. I also want to give a shout out to Duncan for connecting us. Thanks for listening to this week's Taiwan Talk. I hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you again next week. I'm Alex Lewis.